Hello, and welcome to my channel, where we may be dazed, but we are not confused. We are going to do a What's on Your Plate reading for the sign of Taurus. So the purpose of this is to take a look at something that you might have on your plate, which is a little too much, or something that you don't want to deal with too much more of. So I was inspired by experiences I had, particularly as a child, of getting way too much food on my plate and then having to be stuck at the table and eat it, which is not comfortable or fun if you've been in that situation yourself. Also, sometimes there's things that you just don't want to deal with or you don't want to put on your plate, especially if you're a picky eater. But sometimes you can be socially pressured into getting more than what you want to fulfill some kind of societal expectation of how you're supposed to consume things, all right? So we're going to take a look at the number of dishes that you have selected, as well as what those dishes are. And these dishes are going to correspond with the Oracle deck, and I cracked open the tarot to get to the root of the situation as well, so we'll take a look at that. All right, Taurus, so let's see how many dishes that you have on your plate today. All right, we have six dishes. All right, and those dishes are, we have collard greens, we have cornbread, we have green bean casserole, we have cranberry sauce, we have sweet potato pie, and lastly, a wild card. So that means we could pick whatever deck. All right, so at the root of your situation, Taurus, is that there is a person that is in a position of authority who is either, perhaps they are watching you, they're observing you, or you are being watched as a person who is in a position of authority by another group. It could be maybe somebody above you or just people on the outside. And I feel that what they're watching for is to make sure that you don't make a mistake. And, they got their sword raised and poised and they're ready to come say something or intervene at some level when you do, okay? But I feel like you're confident, like you're sitting in a position of authority and you're feeling cool and confident in what you're doing. I feel as if the person who, if there is a person in authority that's watching you, they're not so confident in you for some reason. They might be picking up, they might be watching to see if you make a mistake or something. And that's why there's a sense of needing to observe or watch. All right, so let's take a look and get some details on this and see what's going on. All right, so we have green bean casserole, which is the peace oracle, so we'll start with that. We have priority. All right, so maybe this person is trying to watch, whoever it is, whatever side you fall on with this, is watching to maybe make sure that you have your priorities straight. They may not be sure of what your priorities are. All right, it could be something along that line, okay? With this quote here, it's 1 Corinthians 13:13. This could be a love situation, all right? It says, and now these three remain, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. So this could be a romantic situation and someone is kind of watching the other person to make sure that they are actually making the love a priority, making sure that people are who they say that they are. But I feel as if the advice here is the most important thing you can do is love. If you come at things from a space of fear, then that kind of impedes upon that. And sometimes you might feel like you're doing it from a place of love, but it's actually from a place of fear. So it says the most important thing you can do today is love. Embrace yourself. Your presence here is no more or no less important than that of the moon or the stars. Foster love, peace, and acceptance from within, and let it spill over into the hearts, minds, and earth around you. All right. So This is saying identify the one thing that will make the biggest difference, be it to sit, stare, read, share, leave, write, enroll, invite, challenge, clear, clean, connect. Do this one thing and do it well. So, this I feel like is saying that whatever it is that you're doing, like find the thing that's the most important and put your energy towards that, not fear-based concern that, maybe somebody's not maybe committing to something. And this doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be in a workspace. Maybe somebody's concerned that you're not passionate enough about it, or you're not doing something, or you could be in a position of authority and you feel like you're confident in what you're doing because you love it. And this would be advice to say to keep putting your energy into being in love with what you're doing and prioritizing that, putting your energy towards doing a good job at things. And then you don't have to worry about the extra maybe political stuff or people trying to see if you make a mistake or did you make a faux pas, all those things. Like prioritize the love in the situation, whether it's a relationship or it's an actual profession or a hobby or some skill or talent, whatever that you have. Focus on the love that you have there, and that will help you to overcome some of this energy of kind of being observed and watched. And I'm picking up heavily, like, to see if you're going to make a mistake. That's what I'm picking up here. Someone wants to see if you're going to mess up and make a mistake. And it's coming from a place of fear. Or it could be inciting fear within you that you're going to make a mistake. Okay. Next, we have sweet potato pie, and that's going to be our Sacred Rebels card. So let's see. I've got two, but I want to do one. So I'm going to shuffle again. We have Diving for Light. Okay. So this card here to me is about looking at a very difficult, harsh situation and trying to find the silver lining, or trying to find the beauty in the situation. It's almost like transmuting the negative, or having to go way down into the shadows or way down into the depths of something and trying to find the beauty in it. This situation, whatever it is, it could maybe be a difficult situation. And because of that, maybe that's why there's this energy of watching or observation to make sure that things happen a certain way or don't happen a certain way, because maybe they're prone to in whatever this is. But this is saying that, for all parties involved, focusing on the light in the situation can help to transform it. Prioritizing that is what's going to make the difference, all right, in the situation. All right, so the next thing we have is cranberry sauce, and that's going to be a Madame Endora's card, and we have Let Your Intentions Be Known, all right? So some of this might be due to confusion about like what the person's intentions are. So if you're in a position of authority, it's important to let people know, like, here's my style. These are my expectations. This is what I plan to implement or what I plan to do. This is what I see for this organization or this group or this community or whatever it is. And then on the flip side, if you're the person who's being observed, it's also important to let that person know, here's my style. These are my intentions. This is how I do things. Let me know if there's something that you need me to do that, if you think I don't know it, just let me know if you have an expectation so that I can try to meet that expectation for you. So really it's about like communicating what your intentions are. So then you don't have to have the energy of like spying and observing to see if people are meeting or not meeting expectations or prioritizing expectations that may not have been clearly communicated. Okay. Next, we have cornbread, and that's going to be the Wisdom Oracle. We have time for a nap in reverse. Okay. So I feel as if this is a time to not like, I don't want to say fall asleep. I feel like it's a time to be like very awake and cognizant of your surroundings. Don't allow yourself to kind of be lulled into kind of not being present or not being fully aware of what's going on, because this energy that's kind of watching is kind of like, you know, I feel like it's just like hanging over. It's trying to wait and see. And in order to meet this energy or to kind of help diffuse it, you need to be very aware of your situations and your surroundings and the people around you and your environment. And this is not from a fear-based place, but I feel like it's what we said before, from a space of letting your intentions be known so that you can clear up any confusion on either side of this aisle ahead of time. All right. So don't get too comfortable. Don't rest or just allow yourself to kind of doze off or not be fully present, because this situation calls for you to be fully present and on top of things, because there's an energy outside of you that's waiting to see if you're able to manage this. Okay. Or if you are picking up all the signals or moving in a certain way, and you need to be clear about what that is and make sure that you're doing that, is what I'm picking up here. All right. So the next dish we have is collard greens, and that's going to be the mermaid oracle. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to tell this story. And this is not to be offensive. You know, I'm a person of color. But I saw this meme, and, you know, this dish is collard greens. And we're talking about miscommunication, not being clear on your intentions, people waiting for you to make a faux pas, waiting for you to make a mistake because you may not understand, you know, maybe a corporate culture or understand an expectation or a relationship style or something. But there's this meme out, and it's a mixed race couple, and they were eating for Thanksgiving. And the meme is basically a person and their partner coming in to explain to the mother, you know, oh, I'm sorry, we didn't mean to say the colored greens, you know. And the joke about it is that in minority groups, particularly people of African American heritage, you say collard greens, especially if you're from the South. Like my family is from the South, and so you say collard greens. But somebody who's coming in, if you've never heard of that, and if you hear the accent, you might think they're saying collard greens. And if you say that, you think that you're saying what they're saying, but it's actually quite offensive because you're not of that person's race, and you're calling the food colored, you know, colored greens, and it could create all kinds of stuff. Now, particularly if you have a little bit of tension where maybe it's a little bit out of the norm. So maybe whatever situation you're in is a little bit outside of the norm. And so people are waiting for you to make a faux pas. Okay. And so in this situation, clearly, you know, the mother might have not been so happy with the situation. This, you know, the country I'm in, this is America, this stuff happens. And you made that faux pas. So now you're having to apologize, and you really didn't mean anything, and you just didn't understand what was being said because of the accent. And then there's all these things that you just violated. And so again, this is a sign to make sure that you are clear on that. Another example of this is like when I was younger, I would hear boiled eggs, and because of like the accent that my family would have, they would say bald. It sounded like they were saying bald eggs. So I kid you not, like until I was in, I would say almost maybe third or fourth grade, maybe even a little bit older, third or fourth grade, I swore up and down that it was bald eggs. Whenever I wanted a boiled, peeled egg, I would call it a bald egg. And I thought it was bald because it looks like a bald head. You know? Not boiled, it's a boiled egg. But it was just misunderstanding and not understanding the nuance of like, oh, these people say it this way because that's their accent, but it's really this. And when you get that cleared up, then, you know, and that's a little bit more innocent. It doesn't have as much of maybe an impact as like calling collard greens, you know. But anyway, just an example. Be clear, be mindful, let your intentions be known. Let people know maybe even ahead of time that you may not understand everything about it. You don't mean to be offensive. Okay, if you do something or you don't do something, let people know, hey, let me know what you expect or how people do things so that I'm not, you know, stepping on toes or offending people, those kind of things. Okay. The next card that we have here is Blessed Change. It says a major life change brings you great blessings. So whatever this is, you know, it could be that this position that you're in, maybe it's a huge change for you, and it's a huge blessing, but it's also a little bit overwhelming because it's such a shift from where you were that you're having to learn the different nuances of being in this space. And maybe some people know that it's not your norm to be in this space, and that's what this observing energy is doing. You know, maybe it's observing to kind of correct you, to cut you down with a correction, maybe not in a harsh way, but just be like, oh, no, we don't do this, or oh, that's not how it happens here, or nobody does it this way, this is how we always do it, or the correct way to do it is this and that, you know, and just finding a balance. You know, sometimes we don't like that and it's not always fun, but I feel like that might be the environment that you're in here, okay? And likewise, if you have somebody that's in an authority position that's doing this to you, they may realize that you're in a position that is either new for them to have a new person in, or it's new to you, so they're trying to, you know, correct you on the first chance. And it's just about being kind of, you know, using your humility and being able to communicate clearly in a way that's dignified for you, but also helps to clear up any kind of confusion in a situation, okay? All right, the last card that we have is a wild card, so I'm going to pick a feather message. And I got the white owl. It says the wisdom and messages of the divine are within you. So I feel as if you tune in to your inner wisdom and inner guidance, this will help you as well. And that will help you to connect with others, to know when to walk, when to talk, when to move left, when to move right, when to go up, when to go down, all these different situations. And you could kind of like tune in to your environment, but also be very clear in expressing to other people what your intentions are, so that they don't have to kind of guess you, or and vice versa, you don't have to try to guess them, okay? All right, so Taurus, this is what I have for your reading. I hope it was helpful for you. Thank you for joining me on this channel where we may be dazed, but we are not confused. And until the next video, bye-bye.